name is David S. Vingman, and today I speak not only for myself, but for every American who still remembers the smoke, the screams, and the silence that followed September 11th. This week, YouTube made a choice. They chose censorship over truth. They chose policy over patriotism. They removed a solemn tribute created by me and my brother in arms, Kaaski. A video honoring the men, women, and heroes we lost on 9/11. And why? Because of one image. An image of a man dressed in a business suit, suspended in midair. An image the media released. An image that history recorded. An image that speaks to the gravity of that terrible day. Let me be absolutely clear. That image was not glorified. It was part of a visual memorial, part of a message that said, we remember, we will never forget. But instead of understanding that, YouTube flagged it, tore it down, and then sent me an insult disguised as concern, accusing me of intending harm simply for including it. They silenced a tribute and then had the nerve to suggest I was a threat to myself. Let me tell you what's actually dangerous: erasing the truth, pretending history didn't happen, and punishing those who speak honestly about pain and sacrifice. YouTube didn't trigger us by protecting anyone. They triggered us by pretending the past doesn't matter, by stripping away the soul of a tribute meant to honor the fallen. They didn't just remove a video, they ripped away our right to grieve, to remember, and to honor those we lost in the only way we knew how. With honesty, with reverence, with love. To YouTube I say this: you don't get to define what remembrance looks like. You don't get to erase what America lived through. And you damn sure don't get to silence David S. Vingman and Vingman Kaaski just because truth makes you uncomfortable. We didn't come this far to have our voices muted by an algorithm. If you think we'll stop speaking out, if you think we'll apologize for caring too much, then you don't know us at all. We'll keep creating, we'll keep honoring, and we'll find every platform willing to stand with us instead of against us. Because the memory of that man in the air, that haunting, heart-wrenching image, that was not despair. That was history. And history doesn't get deleted. Not on my watch. Not on Kaaski's watch. Not ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I rise not just in defense of myself or my brother in arms, David S. Vingman. I rise in defense of truth, honor, and the sacred memory of those we lost on 9/11. On that day, we witnessed horror, we witnessed heartbreak, but we also witnessed unbreakable American courage. And as artists, as patriots, as human beings, we did what we've always done. We paid tribute, we remembered, we honored. But YouTube didn't see it that way. They took down our tribute, not because it promoted violence, not because it was offensive, but because we dared to include a real image, an image that history itself has documented, that the media published, documentaries have used an image of one man in a business suit, suspended in air, a powerful, tragic symbol of a moment when America bled. Let me be clear, that image was not glorified, it was not manipulated. It was part of a respectful tribute, a visual eulogy to those who died that day. But instead of listening, instead of understanding, YouTube silenced us. And to make it worse, they had the audacity to accuse David, the one who was honoring the fallen, of being a danger to himself. They projected their ignorance onto him as if their inability to process truth gave them the right to define his intent. Let me say this loud and clear, I am not the one who was triggered. They triggered him. They triggered pain and fury in the hearts of every patriot who still remembers where they were that day. They triggered outrage in every veteran, every firefighter, every family member who still holds on to those memories like shattered glass. YouTube thinks they can erase an image and erase the pain. They think censorship heals wounds, but the truth doesn't vanish just because it's uncomfortable. We didn't ask for permission to remember the fallen. We didn't ask for permission to speak the truth. And we damn sure won't ask for forgiveness for doing what YouTube doesn't have the spine to do anymore. Face the past, feel the pain, and honor it with dignity. Vingman, and I stand on the side of truth. We stand for every voice that's been silenced by an algorithm. And we stand for the memory of that man in the suit. A symbol not of trauma, but of the weight of that moment. Oh, YouTube, I say this, you don't get to whitewash history. You don't get to silence us. You don't get to rewrite the legacy of the fallen. Because every time you take down a tribute, you only make us louder. Thank you.
The morning light was shining, a peaceful world in view. But in the silence, terror came as the planes broke through the blue. The towers stood so strong and tall, but soon they'd fall away. In the smoke and fire, lives were lost and hearts were torn that day. But through the flames, the ashes rise, brave souls who gave their all. In memory, they're standing tall, answering freedom's call. On that day, the sky cried tears for every life that disappeared. But in our hearts, they still remain. Their love and courage ease the pain. We'll never forget the cost for every soul we've lost. As the buildings fell to the ground, their voices echo ever loud. The planes struck deep, the towers swayed, then crumbled to the ground. The world watched in disbelief as sorrow wrapped around. But heroes ran into the storm to save the ones inside. They gave their lives without a doubt, with courage as their guide. In every tear, in every prayer, their spirits never died. In unity we lift them high, as angels in the sky. On that day the sky cried tears for every life that disappeared. But in our hearts they still remain. The love and courage ease the pain. We'll never forget the cost for every soul we've lost. As the buildings fell to the ground, the voices echo ever loud. The steel, the stone, the ash, the flame, it all came down, but we'll reclaim the strength, the love, the hope they gave, the heroes that we couldn't save. On that day the sky cried tears for every life that disappeared. But in our hearts they still remain. Their love and courage ease the pain. We'll never forget the cost for every soul we've lost. As the buildings fell to the ground, the voices echo ever loud. The sky cried that day, but we will rise with hope and love that never dies. For every life, a candle